the long way around to answer this question. Final season with the Miami Heat, LeBron James, the Heat organization believed, knew he was leaving and checked out on the finals. It looked like he was trying. The stat sheet looks like he was trying, but the Miami Heat believed that he checked out and was no longer trying. Watch that game against the Thunder and you tell me if LeBron James looked like he was trying, because it was not the fault of Kevin Love that they scored 148 points. LeBron James wandered around the court, and if he weren't trying, that's what it would look like.
Okay, I was there. And I don't think I've ever seen a game where LeBron James did act this way, but I don't think it was him not trying. I think it was him literally evaluating everything around him. Isaiah Thomas would get burned by Russell Westbrook. He would just sort of stare down and think about things, it felt like. Even in timeouts, he would just sit on his own, sort of staring straight ahead, not say anything to anybody. So what I'm thinking is he's been frustrated with this team for a while and trying to figure out the why. The Kevin Love part, I think, was just an addition and made it for a saucy story, if you will, but not so much the reason that they're pinpointing the problems.
Another thing that I think is interesting here is if you're LeBron James, you have not committed to more future in Cleveland. You don't know if you want to stay, but you want to put pressure on the entire organization to blow everything up at the trade deadline to get you a better team the second half of the season. This is the only way you can do it, by having a calamity on the front end.
There is only one guy who LeBron won't blame. Dwayne Wade.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Dwayne's never going to get anybody.
That's when Wade got into the
It's Isaiah's fault. It's Derrick Rose's fault. It's Kevin Love's fault. It's Ty Lue's fault. It's never going to be Dwayne's fault.
Was it a mistake for the Bucks to fire Jason Kidd against Giannis' wishes?
Okay, the Greek freak is the way that I go on that one. It's Giannis Antetokounmpo. The second name is harder than the first. Anyway, this is the story that we have in front of us, and I'm marveling at Jason Kidd and his career path in coaching. He had a great job in Brooklyn, snaked his way out of there to get to Milwaukee as soon as the good players left, got to Milwaukee, was entrusted with this young phenom, and didn't do any winning with him. And my guess is this ends Jason Kidd's career as a head coach, because you got to be able to do something with this guy.
Well, that could be true. I'm not sure about his career. It depends on how much he wants to continue it. What I do wonder is why now for this team who doesn't have championship aspirations, doesn't have those types of expectations, and yet do this in season and anger your superstar? Is it more important for you to find a coach that's going to improve you this year or keep your superstar happy? And it's not just your superstar, it's a superstar that everybody in the league covets. So you're sort of chipping away at his loyalty here, and he is a free agent in 3 years. He might demand a trade before that if you keep going this route.
Well, I know a coach who they can hire who is going to be available pretty soon.
Who's that?
Tyronn Lue.
Oh, that's right. Yes, you can get him immediately. He's going to be cheaper than you ever thought you could have him.
Should Damian Lillard get himself out of Portland?
Oh, it's kind of very similar to Milwaukee right there, sort of chipping away at a player's loyalty. Well, now Damian Lillard is wondering if his team is good enough around him, wondering what his franchise's plan is, and he wants to set up a meeting with ownership or with the front office. And here's the difficult thing with Damian Lillard is he's got the confidence to believe that he can be the centerpiece of a team that can challenge the Warriors. He constantly has good games against that team, and he's got a backcourt mate in CJ McCollum that is high quality and can sort of match up with the Splash Brothers. But you sort of wonder what sort of personnel decisions they've made along the way, and you look at it and they're really strapped cash-wise until about 2021. So he's got to look at this and say, hey, I'm not going to compete with these guys anytime soon. You're wasting the prime of my career. What are we doing?
This is where you are, though. Even though super teams have been good for this league in terms of ratings and in terms of interest, this is the downside. Damian Lillard realizes, hey, it's not enough to have one of me or even two of me. We need four of me. And if that's not enough, what you're going to keep doing is corroding these relationships that are important between small market teams and their superstars, because everybody's going to want out of their market to come and compete against the Warriors.
Not to mention small market teams in the NBA, because they're still going to be demanding changes to the CBA to try to level the playing field, and that's just not happening right now.
He just realized that the Blazers couldn't compete.
Well, see, this is the thing. My father was saying this before the show. Why today? Did you just realize this today, Damian? Why today? Why not 2 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago? When you had LaMarcus, it wasn't enough either. Today was the day.
Did John Wall go too far with his comments about Juan Jose Barea?
Yes, absolutely is the answer to this question. If you don't know the backstory, they were going back and forth, and John Wall called him a midget. Jj Barea is short. That is not a slur that we're using anymore in these days. But I will say that the part of this story is that I'm enjoying is that at the height of professional sports, in a beef of the highest order, you got one guy calling the other guy a midget, and then the other guy saying, and your teammates don't like you. Nobody likes you. It's very fourth grade.
I don't know if you noticed that, but Papi gave you one of these after he said Juan Jose Barea. So proud of himself for using his full name there. I'm I'm equally as interested in Jj Barea's response where you said teammates doesn't like John Wall. And if you look at him, if you watch the way the team's played over the year, you get a sense of that. John Wall is a fierce competitor. He's got a very specific style, a very aggressive approach, and he wants his teammates to be the same as him. I don't know if they are all the same, and it could be that a few of them don't like him. But if I'm his teammate and I see how talented John Wall is, I'm going to follow him regardless of his style of competition.
Are you kidding me? They are making fun of Jj Barea. LeBron couldn't do anything against Jj Barea. You know, that's it. That's the way it is. You know, he couldn't do against
2010, my father is still not forgiving him. I'm seriously,
you know what I mean?
Put the video up, please, of Jj Barea in the post, and LeBron won't do anything with it. My father has been mad at it for 7 years.
For good reason.
Would the Cowboys be smart to cut ties with Des Bryant?
I am telling you that one of the great mysteries of my last 18 months of sports coverage is trying to understand how Des Bryant went from a #1 receiver to someone that could not catch passes from Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, the moment that he became the Cowboys quarterback, made it clear, and the statistics are proof on this one. He doesn't play well with Des Bryant. And if he doesn't play well with Des Bryant, there's no reason to have Des Bryant.
Yeah, especially not at that price for Des Bryant at $12 million a year when you're not going to use him as your focal point. But it's easily explainable when you consider the change in quarterbacks between Tony Romo and Dak Prescott. Tony Romo liked throwing it to Des Bryant. He made him feel like he was in a rhythm when he was in a game. Dak Prescott does not do that. And every once in a while, if you feel out of rhythm, you might drop balls. You might not be in every single play. So I understand that, and if I'm Des Bryant, I want out as well if they're going to build around Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott, because you know not enough footballs are going to go my way, and it's going to literally cost me money.
Why are we wasting all this time, talking about the team that can even make it to the playoffs?
You're so right about that. I mean, really, honestly, I think so much sports coverage would be better if just the analyst said, if Des goes, he goes.
Coming up next on Highly Questionable.
Critical possessions at the end of the game here. Clippers are down, and here comes Blake flying through, and here we go. This is not the height of grace and athleticism here. Oh, he did have a triple-double, but that is a triple-double dribble.
Everyone's arriving early.